Number one, if y'all don't do nothing else ever and you want to continue to progress in life, the number one thing I will recommend to anybody is peace and blessings to you all. Hope that everybody is doing well. My name is Trinity. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where I'm talking about the practical application of African spirituality to improve our lives and our relationships. We're talking about liberation through intentional creation. Today's video, you feel me, we talking about the 10 ways that you can thrive during your spiritual awakening. You see, we want to thrive. We don't want to survive it. We want to thrive. So that way on the other side, we have the momentum, we have the skills, we have the practices and the habits to continue to pull this positivity forward and really shape our lives into what it is that we seek, to really shape our lives to the life that lives in our hearts and in the visions that we hold in our mind. I say, let's get into it. Coming in at number 10, my channel is for African people. So number 10 is to study African history, study Black history. And I'm not talking about what it is that we're taught in school, where we only learn about enslavement, all of it. The civil rights movement, study enslavement, study the Moors, study peoples like the Dogon, study the peoples of West Africa. We gotta study Kemet, we gotta study Egypt. But before Egypt, we have the land of Kush, and we have the beginnings, the origins of humanity, which began in Central Africa with the Twa and Mbuti people. What I recommend as far as African history is I encourage us to study the evolution of humanity, taking into account the evolution of the African thought process. People who are is really one person, right? There's one elder who I think has everything that you need. The way that he teaches really resonates with me, but that is Professor Kaba Kamene. This elder has over 30 years of experience teaching from the African perspective and teaching African history. And he goes over all the things that I mentioned, including the implications of the sun, the plant world, and melanin. So in terms of a holistic look at what African history really is, I'm always recommend him. But when you study African history, that's when you really begin to realize what power we really have and what potential there is to uncover. Number 9 is study Black music. Personal bias. I'm a musician. I love music. Music is life. Music is what has carried us through everything. At our highest highs and our lowest lows, there was always music. It is the dance between the human's heart and the voice of the cosmos. When it comes to music, this is the general timeline I like to follow. I looked at traditional African music, understanding the fundamentals, why music was made that way, why certain instrument groups are the way that they are, and the culture around being a musician. Musician was a craft. So just like people in Africa were raised to be blacksmiths, people in Africa were raised to be tailors, people in Africa were raised to be musicians. It was something that was passed down through bloodline. Understanding the traditional culture, and then from enslavement to about the 20s, 30s is the second section that I took, right? This is where I'm talking about jazz. The Black music in that era, to me, is really around improvisation and adaptation. Improvisation and adaptation is really all about the spirit, following the spirit. No matter where you are in time and space, no matter what you're experiencing, the act of music, the act of making it and listening to it, experiencing it in an improvised way is simply being led by the spirit. Third part of music, we're talking about contemporary Black music, taking a look at record labels. How has Black music been commandeered by white record labels back then all the way to now, where Black musicians now had to make the choice to either truly honor the culture of our music or sell out in order to live a better life through their gifts. And if we look at today's music, we see this same issue where people who are making music are really not shedding the vibrations that lift us up, but rather the vibrations that sustain this false Black identity of violence and greed, death, and destruction. And things are a lot more multi-layered and multifaceted and complex, but really taking a look at Black music, definitely recommend. Number eight is to find or build community. Community has definitely been very important during my journey. In the times where I felt most alone and most confused, it was talking to my family. It was finding people online. It was connecting with people in my area that really helped sustain me. Human beings are a communal species. And when it comes to Black people, it is ingrained in our culture to be together. So that's something that's just fundamental. And if you don't have it, you really can get lost, especially in a time of a spiritual awakening, where your mind is going through so much transformation. Your heart and your energy field is morphing and changing. It's really good to have somewhere to be grounded. Some of us don't have the luxury of being able to do that with our own family, but there are an abundance of communities out there for us to be able to do that. And one tip that I have when it comes to community is to not be afraid to outgrow or to move away from or to dip your toe in and dance with different communities, because as you're going through this process, you are changing and you are growing and you are developing a frame of reference. And what I found for me personally is sometimes the groundedness took away from the process of me expanding and growing and stepping into my own. You had to find a balance between engaging in communities and building your own. The main reason I'm building this YouTube channel is to build my own community. Our own community comes from our unique frame of reference. So as I continue to express my frame of reference, you all will gravitate towards me, people who need to hear from my frame of reference, who resonate with the way that I express things, with my journey, with my story, and we'll form a community around that. Number 7. Shout out to the 7, sacred number 7. Number 7 is all about ancestry. No matter what our relationship is with our family, there's something very fundamental about the Black experience, the African experience, to at least try, to at least have the intention to know more about where you come from. Honoring your ancestors. You can't honor a people that you don't know or that you don't seek to know. And this was so fundamental, you know what I'm saying? So fundamental on this journey. We're talking about thriving through a spiritual awakening as a Black person. Ancestry has to be a part of it, right? And you don't have to set up a spiritual altar. You don't have to pray to your ancestors. You don't have to pour libation if you're not into none of that. Simply seeking to know will open so much, will make so much of your journey a lot more clear. Whether you want to believe it or not, our ancestors are the energies that guide our steps. If you want to look at it scientifically, the body that you live in, being composed of the same genetic material as your ancestors, is the body that you walk with, right? So in that way, the energy of your ancestors is carrying your step. But if we look at African spiritualities, the ancestors are said to be in that spiritual plane, to be in a certain level of influence when it comes to the human experience, right? They're the ones who protect us in this human realm, right? In this earthly experience, because they've been here. So those intuitions, those inklings that you get, I probably shouldn't go there, or anything of that nature, you know, that ancestral intuition, ancestral instinct is what helps guide our steps. What gives us that GPS, that compass. So number 7, tap into your ancestry. Numero 6. Number 6, this one is very special to me. It's one that really resonates with my spirit, and it's something that I will continue to build out on this channel as a central piece of what it is that I do, and that is art as healing, or the ritualistic creation of art. So when I said liberation through intentional creation, this is what it's founding on. Art as healing. Art is said to be the container for spirit. And I cite Ancestor Malidoma. Art is the container for spirit, and artists become the architects that help energy from the spirit realm materialize into the physical realm to make influence, to heal people, to give people this feeling of being seen. Because a lot of the time when we're talking about healing, when we're talking about this journey, we just want to be seen. It's just a matter of knowing that somebody else is going through what you're going through. That brings so much peace, that brings so much calmness to the situation. Just to know, like, damn, somebody out here putting words or putting a visual or putting an artistic form to something that has such a deep impact on me. You know what I'm saying? Art is such a sacred thing, and to be an artist is such a sacred thing. I give so much thanks to the Most High, to my ancestors, for flowing through me in that way. I give thanks for the gift of being able to create art, just being able to express myself in that way, because a lot of the things that I feel are not, they don't lend themselves to regular English. I can't express what it is that I'm feeling, so to be able to put it in music and to have the extra vibrations really express the emotion, the full embodiment of what it is that I'm feeling, that is where that catharsis comes from. So what I say to artists, really use your art and put all your feeling in it. I don't think I need to tell y'all that, but don't focus on what other people may want, or don't focus on what the industry accepts, or, you know, what a gallery may want. Really dig deep into your heart, into the emotions that you feel, and make it make sense through your art. That's what it's about. Number 5, right? Let's talk about number 5. Number 5 is really effective. For me, it really took a lot of energy to do number 5. Like it almost hurt sometimes to do number 5. Because I had to be so completely honest. I couldn't hide from the emotions or from the thoughts. Number 5 is to write letters. Whoever hurt you, whoever cheated on you, whoever abused you, whoever died without you being able to say what you had to say. Anybody that you like harbor these deep emotions for of any type, write a letter to that person. I'm talking about lay it all out exactly how you need to. Write a letter to that person. Sit down and really write everything. Don't hold back nothing. And it's as simple as that. I don't really gotta say too much more. But if you wanna add an extra layer of release, tear it up after you're done, or burn it after you're done, and feel yourself release those things. It was one point where I did that for like I just went on a marathon for a few days. I wrote my letters out, and then I also, after I got done writing them, and I wrote letters to myself as well. After I got done writing them, I read it in the mirror. Allow myself to speak those things, allow myself to say those things. Release it, bro, release it. Don't hold that stuff in. Emotions are meant to move. Energy in motion. Let that shit flow, my guy. You understand what I'm saying? It's not meant to be harbored. And I know for a lot of men, we tend to do that. We don't express our emotions. Let a nigga catch you expressing your emotion. You already know what's gonna happen. You already know how we be. But for my ladies, you know what I'm saying? Y'all in touch with y'all emotions. It's probably something that'll really help y'all, you know, as y'all feel a lot. Keep it flowing, you know what I'm saying? Write some letters, write some letters. Number 4. Number 4 is a movement practice and better eating, cleaner eating. This is something that is very impactful. Bottom line, we all know this. Get off your ass and move and eat better food. Now, there are a lot of things around that may lead people not to be as consistent or, you know, to struggle with that, but that's not really the point. I think we can all agree that better eating and movement will help you thrive in any type of emotional situation. Some of my favorite as far as movement goes, what's really helped me is Qigong and Tai Chi. Those type of movements like just resonate with me. Those type of movement, like I can literally feel my emotions flowing through my body. I can feel me moving the energy around me. And every time that I've ever been on a period of eating clean, whether that be a fruit fast or, you know, a plant-based diet, drinking smoothies, I drink tea every day. This is not the step that I have the best consistency or discipline in. And it's something that I'm growing in and that I'm seeking to grow and be able to share on this channel my development in that area. Top 3, number 3, What's number 3? Get outside. Go outside. Go outside. Go take a walk. Nah, for real though. Go take a walk. Like, you mad? Go take a walk. You sad? Get up out the bed. Go take a walk. You ain't gotta take no shower if you don't want to. You ain't gotta brush your teeth if you don't want to. It's just between, you know what I'm saying? It's just between you and nature. Get up and go outside. Go for a walk. I promise you, whatever you was feeling is not going to be worse by you going outside. When it comes to being outside, sunlight is definitely a good thing. But I go outside when it's cold. I've been outside when it's raining. I'm talking about thunderstorming too. Like, get outside, experience the weather, observe the weather. That's what our ancestors did. But best time of year to go outside and experience the weather is when it's hot. You know what I'm saying? Or at least that's what I like. I like it to be hot. Sun beaming, you know what I'm saying? Not too hot, but like, you know, hot. Sun beaming, I can sweat, you know what I'm saying? Take my shoes off, stand on the grass. Get out in nature. Number 2, numero dos, imagination. I was thinking about SpongeBob. Imagine and visualize. Imagine and visualize. You know, it seems, you know, woo-woo. You talking about I'm going through all this bullshit, you know, niggas is tripping, bitches is tripping, mama getting on my nerves, I'm depressed. You know what I'm talking about? You talking about imagine and visualize. No, but for real, like, take some time. Like, if you ain't had no worries in the world, if you ain't had no limits, allow yourself to imagine. Go to the cosmos if you want to. I've been to the cosmos many times. Been to the cosmos plenty of times. You understand what I'm saying? Allowing your mind to expand. Growth comes from expansion and contraction. If you never allow yourself to imagine and visualize, your mind will stay stagnant and hardened in the bullshit that you're going through. What will prompt your mind to get to that something better? Imagine and visualize. Write down, you know, your best self, you know what I'm saying? Write down whatever your goal is. Who is that person? What is you wearing? Where you at? You know, who you with? How do you feel? Like emotionally, but like, how does your body feel? Like, what does the weather feel like on your skin? What does your clothes feel like on your skin? Really try to get deep into the details. The mind is so powerful, but as soon as we, you know, begin to grow up, the system and our parents try to beat imagination out of our minds, right? That childlike imagination is so important to this whole thing, my friend. And if you lose it, and we never really lose it, but if you don't exercise it, you'll go through a lot of stagnance and pain. Allow yourself to imagine. Be delusional, you know what I'm saying? Within reason, of course. What is number 1? Y'all wanna know number 1? Number 1, if y'all don't do nothing else, I'm talking about nothing else. If you come across this video and you never follow me and you happen to watch this whole video, if you don't do nothing else ever and you want to continue to progress in life, the number 1 thing I will recommend to anybody is to journal. Take all of the shit that is going on in your mind and write it, physically write it on a piece of paper. My guy, I cannot stress this enough. If you don't do nothing else, for real, like if you don't do nothing else, you ain't even gotta do it daily. If you just take some time, 5 minutes, take out a pen, take out a piece of paper and write it down. Journaling is so important, and I'll create a whole nother video to get into journaling itself. But man, like, if you don't do nothing else, I'm talking about over the course of your life, if you just simply keep a journal going, make that a habit, it's going to help you. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. The order that I put these in, I put them in this particular order. It takes you through the journey of having this communal awareness, and it brings you into self-inquiry. It brings you back into the self, asking yourself, who am I in this moment? What am I experiencing in this moment? That's really all we have to do to thrive. If we continue to ask ourselves, who am I? What am I experiencing in this moment? Because we really just need to observe what is happening. And as we observe what is happening and we begin to pick up on the patterns, then we begin to adjust to the patterns in such a way that it makes our lives easier. That is what it's about. But if you never inquire in yourself because you're so blocked off from yourself due to stress and anxiety and negative emotions that you harbor, or just emotions in general that you harbor within, right? You're so dead to the world and what's going on around you, or dead to what's going on inside of you. That's not how this works. You're not just a body, you're not just a meat suit to be animated by the Matrix. You are a human being that is so divine, the masterpiece of the universe, only if you become conscious. And to be conscious, my friend, is to think and to know that you are thinking, to create and to know that you are creating, to feel and to know that you are feeling. If someone were to implement all 10 of these steps on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, if you like that, I mean, if you like that, go ahead, play it. But if you implement these, right, you will improve your mental clarity and you will increase your ability to regulate your emotions. And with mental clarity and emotional regulation, you can really go through any situation in life and come out on top, come out with more wisdom, come out with more knowledge, come out with more information to be able to apply to the best version of yourself, to be able to readjust yourself onto the path that is best for you. And with that, my friends, that is the 10 ways that you can thrive during your spiritual awakening. I would love it if you all liked and subscribed and share. And until next time, stay light. You know what I'm saying? Get your mind right and keep it going. You're okay. I promise you're okay. And it's gonna get better. You understand? So peace and love. I fuck with you.